If you think you've faced tough challenges in games, get ready, because today I'm going to show you a list that will shake your confidence. The 18 hardest games to beat aren't for the faint of heart, and you might be surprised to find that some of these titles aren't all that well known. But let's be honest, the feeling of conquering an almost impossible game is something only those who have been through it can understand. And if you love diving into the most brutal challenges, this video is for you. This is Jack speaking, and if you're new here, welcome to the Play Hunters channel. I bring daily content, so you won't miss any details from the gaming world. And if you could subscribe to help me grow, I'd be thrilled. From gamer to gamer. To kick off our list, we have Dark Souls, one of those games that leaves no room for mistakes, widely known for its relentless difficulty. From the moment a player begins their journey, every step becomes a challenge in itself. The combat requires precision, patience, and a healthy dose of persistence. Many who venture through the dark corridors of this game end up succumbing repeatedly. But it's exactly this brutal learning curve that makes it a hit among those seeking epic challenges in the gaming world. The gameplay is one of the aspects that make this title particularly hard to beat. The controls are precise, but any slip-up can be fatal. With each battle, the tension is palpable, as the enemies are unforgiving. The sense of accomplishment when defeating an enemy is paired with a brief moment of relief, quickly replaced by the apprehension of the next encounter. The game's design doesn't ease the player's journey. Instead, it pushes them to constantly improve, learning from every defeat. The level of challenge is heightened by the game's structure, which doesn't offer many tips or clear directions. Exploration is rewarding, but also dangerous, with every corner potentially hiding an unexpected threat. This style of play demands constant attention from the player, who must be prepared for anything, making completing the game a true achievement. In second place, we have Nioh 2, which takes difficulty to a new level, combining fast-paced combat with a gameplay mechanic that rewards patience and mastery of skills. Right from the start, the complexity of the combat system can be intimidating, but it's exactly this challenge that hooks players. The blend of RPG elements with hack-and-slash combat creates an experience that demands full attention to every move, making any mistake an opportunity for enemies to take advantage. The gameplay is filled with strategic choices, where the player must constantly adjust their approach. The battles are fast and fierce, and each defeated enemy brings a hard-earned sense of victory. However, the learning curve is steep, and the game offers little room for errors. You need to be well aware of the enemy's weaknesses and learn to exploit them, which makes every victory not only a relief, but a testament to your skill. Additionally, the variety of weapons and abilities available adds an extra layer of depth to the game, but also requires the player to master a range of techniques to progress. The sense of progression is real, but always accompanied by new challenges that test the skills you've acquired. For those who enjoy games that offer both difficulty and a satisfying reward for overcoming it, this title definitely delivers. In third place is Remnant, a game that surprises with its combination of third-person shooting, RPG elements, and unforgiving difficulty. From the start, players are faced with a devastated world where survival depends on quick reflexes and strategic decisions. Every encounter with enemies can be deadly, and the constant feeling of uncertainty about what's coming next is always present. The gameplay requires the player to stay alert at all times, as the procedural level design means there's no way to predict what will happen next. This creates a unique experience with each playthrough, keeping the player constantly on edge. The combat, which blends precision with a good dose of dodging, is intense and rewarding, but failing a single move can be the end. Another aspect that raises the challenge is the need for cooperation in multiplayer. While it's possible to play solo, the difficulty of the encounters multiplies, requiring perfect coordination among players. The feeling of defeat can be crushing, but each victory brings a proportional sense of satisfaction. This combination of elements makes every gaming session a true test of endurance. In fourth place, we have Gaiden 2, a game that has become synonymous with extreme challenge and incredibly fast-paced combat. From the beginning, players are thrown into a series of frantic battles, where precision and speed are essential for survival. The game offers no respite, and every enemy can be a lethal threat if not dealt with carefully. The constant feeling of being on the edge of disaster is ever present, making the experience electrifying. The gameplay is marked by a combination of acrobatic movements and a variety of weapons that require complete mastery. The player needs to stay one step ahead, anticipating attacks and responding with precise reflexes. The battles are so fast that any mistake can be fatal, leaving little room for recovery. This constant pressure is what makes the game so hard to beat, but also incredibly satisfying when you manage to progress. The enemy's AI is sharp, creating situations where the player must think quickly and act with surgical precision. Each stage presents new challenges that test the skills acquired so far, without giving any room to relax. For fans of games that offer a true roller coaster of adrenaline, this title is a sure bet, providing moments of pure tension and triumph. Switching completely to a different style of game, we have Cuphead, a game that captivates with its art style inspired by 1930s cartoons, but quickly reveals itself to be a true test of skill and patience. Within the first few minutes, players realize that the charming appearance hides a relentless difficulty. The boss battles are the main focus, and each one is a visual spectacle and a test of quick reflexes and precision. The gameplay is simple on the surface with basic jump and shoot controls, but the complexity comes in the execution. Each boss has unique attack patterns that require memorization and perfect timing. The feeling of progress in each stage is accompanied by constant tension, as any mistake can lead to a swift defeat. This cycle of trial and error is both frustrating and addictive, keeping players engaged and determined to overcome each challenge. For those who appreciate games that combine beauty and brutality, this is a title that definitely leaves an impression. In sixth place, we have Sifu, a game that challenges players to master martial arts in a setting that mixes intense action with a unique aging mechanic. From the start, the difficulty is evident, with combat that demands precision and quick reaction times. The game isn't just about defeating enemies, but also about learning to fall and get back up, using each defeat as a lesson to improve your skills. The gameplay is highly technical, where every strike, block, and dodge must be calculated. The constant feeling of being on the brink of failure makes every victory even sweeter. One of the most intriguing aspects of Sifu is the aging system, which turns every defeat into a literal life lesson. Each time the player is defeated, the character ages, gaining more experience and strength, but losing some vitality. This system creates a unique dynamic where age isn't just a number, but a crucial factor that influences the player's strategy. As the character ages, they become more powerful in combat, but also more vulnerable, adding a layer of tension to every fight. The need to balance progress with preserving youth makes each decision more significant, keeping the player constantly engaged in the pursuit of balance between risk and reward, making the gameplay unique and captivating, forcing the player to think strategically about every move. The game's aesthetics, with stylized environments and an immersive soundtrack, complement the tension of the battles. Each environment presents new challenges and enemies that test the player's adaptability. Progression is a true test of endurance, where only those willing to learn from each failure will advance. For action game fans who value constant learning and mastery, this is a must-play title. In seventh place, we have Thymesia, a game that stands out for its dark atmosphere and gameplay that requires a deep mastery of combat mechanics. From the start, the difficulty is apparent, with enemies that are not only relentless but also fast and unpredictable. The heavy atmosphere and level design contribute to a constant sense of danger, where every step forward is a calculated risk. The gameplay is based on agile combat, where the player must combine attacks, dodges, and blocks precisely. The learning curve is steep, and any slip-up can result in a quick defeat. The tension during confrontations is high, as enemy health bars seem endless, demanding patience and near-perfect execution from the player. The sense of progress is always accompanied by momentary relief, only to be replaced by anxiety for the next challenge. In eighth place, we have Returnal, a game that challenges even the most experienced players with its combination of fast-paced action and roguelike elements. From the very first moment, it's clear that this title isn't for the faint of heart. What truly defines Returnal is its relentless restart system with every death, a central concept that amplifies the game's difficulty. Every time the player succumbs to the dangers of the alien world, they are forced to start over, losing most of the items and progress made in the previous attempt. This roguelike mechanic not only heightens the tension in every battle, but also turns death into a learning tool. With each restart, the level layout changes, enemies appear in new positions, and available resources vary, requiring the player to constantly adapt. This feeling of starting from scratch, without the safety of linear progress, makes every advance meaningful and every defeat an opportunity to reflect and improve strategy for the next attempt. The gameplay is marked by intense and frenetic combat, where every movement must be calculated and precise. The sense of urgency is constant, as enemies don't relent, and the environments change with each new try. This unpredictability ensures that the player never knows what to expect, keeping the adrenaline always high. With each new attempt, the game offers different weapons and abilities, but also new obstacles that demand quick adaptation. The game's sound and visual design is another element that intensifies the experience. The alien world is both fascinating and threatening, creating an atmosphere of continuous tension. With each cycle, the pressure mounts, as repetition doesn't mean ease, but rather a new opportunity to face even tougher challenges. For those who love games that combine difficulty with an engaging story and unpredictable gameplay, this title is a perfect choice. Next, we have Darkest Dungeon, a game that stands out for its combination of RPG elements with an oppressive atmosphere and a difficulty that tests the player's sanity. From the beginning, the game makes it clear that survival is not guaranteed, and the death of characters is something the player needs to learn to cope with. Every expedition into the dark underground is a stressful experience, where the mental health of the characters is as important as their physical strength, adding an extra layer of complexity to the game. The gameplay involves managing a group of adventurers, each with their own weaknesses and abilities. The real challenge lies in maintaining a balance between progress and preserving the sanity of the characters, as accumulated stress can lead them to make erratic decisions or even abandon the mission. The constant sense of danger and the unpredictability of events within the dungeons keep the player on high alert, where every step could be the last. For fans of games that challenge both the mind and strategic skills, this is a title that provides an intense and unforgettable experience. In 10th place, we have Master of Shadows, a game that challenges the player to master the art of stealth in a world where being discovered means almost certain death. From the outset, the focus is on avoiding direct confrontations, as the enemies are relentless and far more powerful than the protagonist. Every step requires careful calculation, using shadows, distractions, and special abilities to sneak through areas teeming with guards. The gameplay revolves around pure stealth, where patience and observation are key. Unlike many action games, the goal here is to remain unseen, and every mistake is severely punished. The pressure increases as the player progresses through missions, where the levels become increasingly complex and the enemies more vigilant. This need for precision and planning creates constant tension, where each success is a testament to skill and every failure can be devastating. Another factor contributing to the difficulty is the enemy AI, which reacts realistically to threats. A single sound or false move can attract the attention of multiple guards, turning a careful mission into a chaotic nightmare. For those seeking a game that rewards patience and meticulous strategy, this title offers a challenging and deeply engaging experience. Next, we have Celeste, a game that challenges both the skill and mental resilience of players, widely recognized as one of the most difficult titles of its generation. From the start, it's clear that the goal is much more than just climbing a mountain. It's a journey of personal growth where every jump, every movement must be executed with surgical precision. The level design is brutally precise, demanding quick reflexes and absolute control over the character. The gameplay is built around simple, yet incredibly deep mechanics. Players must master the ability to jump, climb, and perform an air dash, combining these movements to overcome obstacles that often seem impossible. The difficulty curve is relentless, with levels becoming progressively more challenging, introducing new elements that test the player's limits. Every death, and there will be many, is an opportunity to learn and improve, creating a trial-and-error experience that is both frustrating and incredibly rewarding. In 12th place, we have the Mega Man saga, synonymous with intense challenges and pinpoint precision, marking the lives of many gamers since its debut in 1987. From the first title, the series set a standard of difficulty that became legendary in the gaming world. Players are thrown into meticulously designed levels where every jump and every shot must be calculated with precision. The sense of danger is constant, and the margin for error is minimal, making each stage a true test of skill and patience. The basic formula of the games in the series remains consistent. Defeat a series of bosses in any order, each with unique abilities that the player can acquire upon defeating them. However, the real challenge lies in figuring out the ideal order to face these bosses and mastering their attack patterns. The learning curve is steep, and any attempt to rush through results in a quick defeat. The level design is unforgiving, filled with traps and enemies strategically placed to punish the slightest misstep. Over the years, Mega Man games have continued to challenge players, maintaining high difficulty even in sequels and spin-offs like Mega Man X. The precise controls and the need to memorize attack patterns and level layouts make each title in the saga a unique and challenging experience. Next, I want to highlight Demon's Souls, which, while not the most difficult in its category, is the game that gave birth to the entire subgenre known as Souls-like. Released in 2009, this title not only laid the groundwork for a new form of game design, but also redefined what it means to face a true challenge in video games. From the outset, players are immersed in a dark and punishing world where every enemy is a real threat and every death a lesson. The unforgiving difficulty became the game's hallmark, requiring players to learn to be patient, observe enemy patterns, and constantly adapt their strategies. The gameplay is centered around meticulous combat and careful exploration. Every step requires the player to be aware of the dangers around them, as the level design is full of traps and enemies positioned to punish the slightest distraction. The sense of progression is slow but extremely satisfying, with each victory being a testament to skill and perseverance. The combat system, which demands precision and strategy, became a model for many games that followed, solidifying Demon's Souls as a pioneer in its genre. Beyond its difficulty, the game stands out for its unique atmosphere and the way it creates a sense of loneliness and despair. The world players are thrust into is both fascinating and terrifying, with a subtle narrative that unfolds through encounters and hidden details. This title not only originated a genre, but also left an indelible mark on the gaming industry, remaining a reference for games that seek to challenge and captivate players in unique ways. In 14th place, we have Bloodborne, a game that immerses the player in a dark, gothic world where the elevated difficulty is part of its charm. From the start, the oppressive atmosphere and meticulously constructed level design create a constant sense of impending danger. Every corner could hide a terrifying creature, and the tension is palpable with every step. This environment, combined with fast and brutal gameplay, challenges the player to react with precision and courage. The gameplay centers around aggressive combat, where dodging and attacking at the right moment are essential for survival. Unlike other games in the genre, here the player is encouraged to be on the offensive, punishing any hesitation. The difficulty doesn't just lie in powerful enemies, but also in the need to quickly learn and adapt to their attack patterns. Every defeat is a lesson, and every victory is a hard-earned triumph. For fans of challenges that combine intense action with an immersive atmosphere, this title offers one of the most memorable and difficult experiences to complete in the gaming world. In 15th place, we have Sekiro, a game that takes the concept of difficulty to the next level by requiring not only skill but also patience and precision. From the first encounter, the player realizes that every battle is a deadly dance, where mistakes are not only punished but also taught. The focus here is on the parry system and enemy posture, meaning victory isn't achieved through brute force alone, but through impeccable timing and reading the opponent's intentions. The gameplay sets itself apart from other titles from the same studio by requiring complete mastery of combat mechanics. Dodging and attacking with surgical precision are essential, but the true challenge lies in learning to break the enemy's posture through perfect defenses. This system leaves no room for error, and each encounter is a test of patience and skill. The feeling of finally defeating a boss after countless attempts is unparalleled, rewarding the player with a satisfaction that few games can provide. Additionally, the setting of feudal Japan, with its stunning landscapes and hidden dangers, adds a layer of immersion that makes every moment of the game unforgettable. Progression is harsh and unforgiving, but always fair, pushing the player to constantly improve. For those seeking a challenge where overcoming obstacles is the ultimate reward, this title offers a unique experience that tests and rewards players in a way few others can. Next, we have Hollow Knight, a game that combines a vast and labyrinthine world with a difficulty that challenges even the most experienced players. From the very beginning, the player is drawn into a journey of exploration and combat where every move counts. The meticulous level design and lack of clear guidance increase the sense of isolation and danger, encouraging discovery and constant adaptation to new threats that arise with every step. The gameplay focuses on precise combat and careful exploration. The main character must face enemies and bosses that require quick reflexes and complete mastery of the available abilities. Progression is slow and often frustrating, but every new ability unlocked opens up a world of possibilities, rewarding persistence and patience. The complexity of the maps, with their numerous interconnected routes, requires a sharp memory and a constant willingness to explore the unknown. Additionally, the melancholic atmosphere and detailed art create an immersive experience that goes beyond simple challenge. Each new area discovered offers both wonders and dangers, keeping the player engaged and determined to move forward. For those looking for a game that mixes challenge, beauty, and a deep sense of discovery, this title is a masterpiece that continues to surprise with each new journey. In 17th place, we have Blasphemous, a game that challenges players with its combination of platforming, intense combat, and a dark and disturbing atmosphere. From the start, the player is immersed in a world of penance and suffering, where every enemy defeated and every obstacle overcome brings a temporary sense of relief. The gameplay revolves around precise combat and demanding platforming, where every jump and attack must be perfectly timed. The enemies are relentless, and the bosses, in particular, represent formidable barriers that require pattern memorization and flawless execution. The margin for error is minimal, making every bit of progress a significant victory. The feeling of advancing in this unforgiving world is a mix of terror and triumph, keeping the player engaged. Additionally, the detailed visuals and melancholic soundtrack contribute to the game's oppressive atmosphere, creating an experience that is as emotionally challenging as it is technically demanding. For those seeking a game that offers both challenge and an immersive, unforgettable experience, this title is a perfect choice. Next, we have Dead Cells, a game that combines the frenetic action of a roguelike with the precision and difficulty of a Metroidvania. From the start, the player finds themselves trapped in a cycle of death and rebirth, where each new attempt brings the hope of advancing a bit further, but also the constant danger of failing and starting all over again. This central roguelike mechanic, where each death resets your progress, adds a layer of tension and urgency that makes every moment significant. The gameplay is fluid and responsive, allowing the player to perform agile movements and precise attacks. The real difficulty lies in the need to quickly adapt to the changing level layouts and the variety of enemies that don't forgive mistakes. Each attempt is unique, with new challenges emerging every time the player returns to life. I want to hear from you. Which of these games have you managed to beat? Is there a title on this list that gave you that hard-fought sense of victory? What game do you think was left out and deserved to be here? Also, tell me what the hardest game you've ever played in your life is. Leave your comments below. I'm eager to hear your thoughts and experiences. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep discovering more about the incredible world of gaming and to make sure you don't miss any new content. Here on the screen, I'm leaving a card with the upcoming game releases that everyone needs to know about. Just click to watch. A big hug, and see you tomorrow.